The glass shattered before I realized it was my own hand that had dropped it. It wasn't the noise that silenced the ballroom, it was the sound of her palm meeting my face. 200 heads turned. My mother stood there, pearls at her throat, lipstick unshaken, like the queen she believed she was. Her voice carried across the marble hall. "If you can't give your sister the penthouse, then you are no son of mine." I didn't say a word, not because I was shocked, but because I had been waiting for this moment. Backstory: the perfect family illusion. My mother raised us to believe loyalty was currency. She said family first, but what she meant was her first always. When my father died, I became the provider at 24. The company, the investments, the real estate, everything had my name on it because I earned it. For years I played along, paid for their houses, cleared their debts, even bought my sister that ridiculous diamond bracelet she couldn't live without. I thought it was love. It was leverage. The first crack. It began 6 months ago. My sister called, pretending it was a casual chat. But the conversation circled back, again and again, to my penthouse overlooking the bay. I'd worked 15-hour days to buy it. Every tile, every painting inside, it was mine. She said she needed a fresh start after her engagement. She said her fiancé wanted something impressive. I told her no, politely. The next week, my mother stopped returning my calls. The week after, my accountant noticed unusual transfers from one of our joint family trusts. My signature, only it wasn't mine. The evidence. I didn't confront them immediately. I let the rope unspool. I started tracing calls, following meetings. A contact in a private bank whispered to me about a mortgage application filed in my name for renovations on the penthouse I supposedly no longer owned. Then came the email. My sister had written to her fiancé, "Once the place is in our name, we'll sell it and finally get rid of him. Mom's on board." That was the night the anger burned cold. No shouting, no pleading, just a decision. They wouldn't see me break, they'd see me win. The plan. Step 1. Secure my assets. I moved ownership of the penthouse into an LLC controlled through a holding company registered offshore, legally invisible to them. Step 2. Bait the trap. I let them think the transfer was going through. Even sent my mother a forged draft of the deed. Meanwhile, I reached out to a friend, a federal prosecutor I'd met through a charity gala. I showed him the forged signatures, the attempted mortgage fraud. He didn't smile. "This," he said, "is going to get ugly." I told him I wanted it to. The setup. The wedding was perfect for the finale. 200 guests, photographers, press, every social climber my mother adored packed into one ballroom. I arrived late on purpose, in the suit my mother had once said made me look like a man she could respect. She approached before I even sat down. No greeting, just the demand. "Give your sister the penthouse." I told her I already had. Her eyes lit up, hungry. She didn't notice the man in a dark suit standing near the back, watching us. The slap. When I added, "Too bad you'll never get it," her hand rose before her brain caught up. The crack echoed. Gasps followed. In her mind, she had just asserted dominance. In mine, she had just performed the opening act. I didn't touch my cheek, didn't raise my voice. I simply said, loud enough for every microphone in the room to catch, "You really should have been more careful forging my signature." The fall. Confusion flickered in her eyes, then panic as the man in the dark suit approached. He introduced himself, badge flashing, Assistant U.S. Attorney. 2 other agents moved in, one heading toward my sister, who had frozen mid-laugh at the champagne table. I watched as they read my mother her rights. The guests whispered like a storm breaking. Cameras flashed. She tried to speak, blaming me, blaming everyone. But the prosecutor already had the printed emails, the mortgage documents, the forged deed. And the best part? The ballroom's live stream captured every second. Aftermath. They were escorted out, silk gowns and tailored suits crumpling under the weight of reality. My sister's fiancé vanished into the crowd, leaving her alone under the chandelier. The penthouse remained mine. The trust accounts were frozen, pending investigation. I donated a portion of the seized assets to the very charity my mother once mocked me for supporting. Reflection. People asked me later if it hurt, being slapped by my own mother. No. What hurt was realizing she had never loved me without an invoice attached. But that night, watching her mask crack, hearing the tremor in her voice as the law closed in, that wasn't hurt. That was justice.